God's ways are not our ways, it says in the reading today from Samuel. And so often we see quite a contrast in the way we as human beings make decisions and the way God does. We see in our preparation for the primary elections that we're in right now, candidates putting forth their thoughts and trying to sell themselves to the American public. And they do it at great expense, and often, and it'll get worse once the primaries are done, then they campaign for who's going to be president. And it gets even more expensive, and not only will they tout their strengths and their virtues, but they will attack each other in the whole thing. It's quite a long process trying to find the right person. Will the right person be chosen? Only political analysts can tell us in the future. God is different. He's got to choose a king for Israel. And he sends Samuel to this small, tiny town of Bethlehem. And he doesn't say, go and find the mayor or the head of the city. He doesn't say, find the most intelligent person. He said, I will direct you to the one you choose. And of course, Samuel does as God asks, and all the likely people aren't chosen. But it's David, the youngest, that God points out to him. And of course, David becomes the greatest of the Israelite kings. From David descended Jesus, the King of Kings. The Lord has chosen us too. And I think that's what we give thanks for in every liturgy, that the Lord didn't look around for all the best qualities you could possibly have in a human being when he chose me. I know that. But he chose me, and he chose all of us. He chooses all of us because of his own goodness. And so just as he chose David as king, he chooses us to be his people, a priestly, kingly people, called to do his will in our day-to-day lives. And I think we need to remember is that we said in the penitential rite, the Lord strengthens us in word and sacrament. He gives us the abilities to do things that of our own we couldn't do, that only the grace of God allows us to do. And if I look back on my life, I'm sure you do the same thing. Times when we wondered how we would accomplish something or how we would get through some situation in our lives. And we look back now and we can say truly it was the grace of God that everything worked out the way it did. And so we, again, have another day in front of us in which to do God's will, and we ask him to help us to be open to that will and to the best we can out of love for him and one another. Let us stand and offer our prayers and petitions.